Hey, welcome to Old Ass Movies, you hosers. Have we got a treat for you today, eh? Yes. I can't even do it. Anyway, Bob and Doug McKenzie's Strange Brew.
Yeah.
Strange Brew.
It's about time.
Yeah, I know there's those of you out there that are going to look at this movie and say, God damn, this is stupid. And you would be right.
We're not going to argue with you.
I'm not going to argue with you. But I love this movie with every bit of it. I have seen it so many freaking times. If anybody wants to know who Scott is, watch this movie. It's me. It's every bit of it. I relate to it on so many fucking levels.
I got news for you.
Dude.
The whole Midwest can relate to these two guys and anybody in Canada.
Probably. Oh my God.
I forgot how much. I've only seen this movie like 2 or 3 times.
Oh man, well, you need to catch up.
Second or third viewing that I've had of it. I remembered it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I forgot how stupid it was. But in the same time, when I say stupid, I mean funny. It is funny. I laughed this whole stupid movie. It was so dumb. It is stupid.
It is. And that's just it. It is stupid. And they didn't care. They own this shit and they rolled with it. That's what makes it beautiful. If you grew up when Dave and I did, you would be familiar with a show called SCTV, Second City TV.
God, such a good stuff.
Such a great troupe of comedic actors come out of there, such as Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas, along with who else was all part of it? Was John Candy? Was John Candy part of it? There was a lot of people involved with SCTV. A lot. I mean, Eugene Levy. Yeah, I'd have to go look now.
People, and Eugene Levy went on to do a lot of stuff. He did a
lot.
Oh crap! He did the American Pie movies. He was the dad in the American Pie.
Oh yeah, but if you haven't taken a chance to catch him and his 2 kids with Schitt's Creek,
I've heard about that. Is it?
It is. It's fucking awesome.
The woman in Schitt's Creek is in that too. Terrible with names. His wife.
Yes. Damn it. I don't. I can't.
She plays Sally. She does the voice of Sally, and
yes, and she's also in Beetlejuice, and she plays Moira.
My mind's just gone completely blank. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but Schitt's Creek is great. So anyway, back to SCTV. If we get off the Canadian actors,
the main villain in this, real quick, insane, Max von Sydow.
Holy cow! Right?
Pooed my pants when I saw him on there. I was like, holy crap, I forgot he was the villain in this movie.
Isn't that something?
Ladies and gentlemen, Max von Sydow has got to have the greatest sense of humor of any super talented actor. He's played Shakespearean kings, all the way down to Brewmeister Smith. In this movie,
he's done it all, man.
Strange Brew. It's like, how do you justify that?
You know what? He probably had a sense of humor. I guarantee he got paid. And what the hell? I mean, that's just it. Let me roll back. So I started talking about SCTV. So you have Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas created 2 characters called Bob and Doug McKenzie, which is basically just 2 dudes who want some beer and just want to have a good time. They're just chilling. It's just
they did this on SCTV, and it's the 2 brothers who just want to drink beer, and they have a public access.
They have like a public access show.
Public access television or not anymore. But they had public access television.
Yes, they do.
What?
They do have public access television. In fact, some of my short films have been shown locally.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome that they still do that. I'm glad.
They still do it. Yeah. So I was like, yes, I can get seen here.
Mm-hmm. Let's do this.
Yeah.
But the whole point is that the movie starts out with them at a movie theater showing their movie that was never made. It was such a bad movie. Everybody got up and walked out on the movie. Bob and Doug have to run out to the back
to the alley to try and get away.
To run away. Oh my god, it's so funny. And then it goes into the movie that you're watching. It's
Yeah.
it's so stupid on so many levels. And that van, I knew guys with vans like that
I
that
know,
they drive
right?
around
This
in.
is so 80s. This is so 80s all the way down to the wardrobe, everything. So, movie makers out there, if you want to go make an 80s movie that isn't just filled with neon and acid wash and stuff
Right,
and just
right.
catchphrases, watch this. Everybody's dressed appropriately. This is 80s through and through. It's like I'm looking at this, I was like, wow,
Yeah,
you know?
it's a good set piece for um locations and clothing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I need something to 80s, but like you said, I don't want to have the big punk rock hairdo and the typical
What
go
people
look at
think
this movie
of.
and you're like, shit, everybody dressed like that in the Midwest because it was always cold.
Yes.
Even in Michigan in the summertime, man, it can get cold.
Yeah.
Up on those lakes, man, you get that wind.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, Bob and Doug McKenzie are just not the
Well, they're
folks
not.
in the
And
box.
what happens
They're just
is they feel
not.
bad for this guy in the alley whose kids saved up all their money to watch the show. So, so Bob gives the money to
Yeah,
it's dad's beer money,
yeah.
which, if I'm not mistaken, Mom and Pa McKenzie were played by Bob and
Yeah,
Doug.
we're played by Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas.
So,
Yeah.
which makes this particular scene in this really fucking comical.
And the
Where-
guys are like, oh,
Where they see their parents getting it on, and it's them.
oh god, it's so funny. That's two friends, man. That's two guys that just they have no more F's to give.
Dude, and that's just it. So, I'm going to go off on a little thing here. Dave
All
and
right.
I have created characters, Donnie and Skeeter, and they're just stupid characters. We do some stupid movies. I'm watching this whole thing and I'm thinking, if Dave and I make a movie, this is how it's going to look. This is how it's going to be because we are both stupid. We enjoy having a good time.
Yeah.
And it's
Script.
fun. Yes.
Script.
We make some stupid shit. And it's awesome.
We don't need no script.
Script. What's a script?
We got a general idea and a camera.
We're good. Just like Bob and Doug had when they had their movie that they had made.
God,
Oh my God. There's a lot of Star Wars references in this, by the way.
On the ice rink?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Especially when Doug's got the helmet on. Luke. Luke.
And all those ice skaters are coming right at him. And he's like, you got to stop. I use the force, eh? You hosers.
Yeah. Oh,
oh my God. The whole point of this movie is
God damn.
They lost the beer money. The dad tells them to go get him beer. They go out and don't they foil a kidnapping of the rich girl, right? Or something like that?
Yeah.
Somehow they meet the rich girl that's going to inherit the brewery.
The heir to the brewery. So let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about Brewmeister Smith's plan.
Oh
he
my
also
God.
is the lead psychiatrist and head of the Royal Canadian Institute of Mental Health, which is right next to Elsinore Brewery.
Right.
Great matte paintings, by the way, in this.
Oh my God, they were great.
I loved it. I love seeing that. It's like, oh my God, it's a painting of the whole, the mountainside and everything. So
it worked perfectly.
It did. It worked great. You don't see that often anymore because it's all CGI'd in and it actually looks better. But it's cool to see, some matte paintings. But anyway, so his plan, and it's not really talked about too much. He's going to take over the world, but he's using some drugs in the beer
in Oktoberfest.
During Oktoberfest, and he's found he can control people with noise, with sound, different chords of music. I know. Just go with it. It works. It works.
It works in this story because the story is so stupid.
Paul Dooley plays such a Weasley shithead.
Yeah,
he's so good in this, man. It's just like, and you know what's funny is when I saw him, he's so young in this, and it's like he has played this type of character forever.
Yeah, it's been his whole career.
Yeah, which is great.
Career, except in 16 Candles.
16 Candles as the
plays
dad.
The guy who actually has a brain and actually cares.
Yeah, but most of the time I see him like this, and it's like,
yeah. Lynn, the girl's name the millionaire, Pam Elsinore.
Mm-hmm.
The actress's name is Lynn Griffin. And if this is a recent photograph, she looks almost the same.
Really?
Yeah. She aged really well.
Yeah.
Really well. They met. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Pam Elsinore hires the guys because she thought they were funny and she thought that she could trust them. So the guys go home and they bring home a whole truck full of beer to the dad. And dad's thinking they stole it. They're like, no, we got jobs. We got jobs. We got jobs at the brewery. And you just hear the dad, who's voiced by Mel Blanc.
Yes, which is
just goes crazy. He's like, "Oh my god, my boy's got a job at the brewery. This is the greatest day of my life."
Yeah.
And he starts making phone calls to the neighbors and to the aunts
just
and uncles.
Hollering, yeah.
Finally got a job, and it's at the brewery.
At the brewery, got to have the beer, eh?
And for anybody who loves the '80s but isn't really familiar with a whole lot of music or anything from it, look up Great White North by the lead singer from Rush.
Geddy Lee.
Geddy Lee, thank you.
When that song came out, it's like, oh my God, because I remember hearing it's like, that sounds like Geddy Lee.
It was on their comedy album. These guys came out with a comedy album that I think went gold. It may have gone platinum, but I know that it went gold. And they used to literally play some of the skits on WRIF and WLLZ
cool.
in Detroit.
Very cool, which makes sense.
That's how popular these guys were. They didn't give a crap that it wasn't music. They would play skits. They would also play Cheech and Chong skits every once in a while on the radio. But the song was on that album.
Yeah.
And it was always started out with these two idiots talking. Hey, great day in the Great White North, eh?
Yeah. I can't do it without laughing, but
I can't believe it. I still remember, I remember their skits.
Yeah. It was funny.
I wish these guys would just go out and do a tour. I would go see them. If they came anywhere near me, I would go see them. If they were playing Bob and Doug McKenzie on tour, I'd be there in a heartbeat. I would freaking be there in a heartbeat.
I want to see more. I want them to bring the characters back. It would be awesome to see it. You brought up something that was interesting because I watched this last night, and afterwards I went over to HBO, which has a pretty good library of all the Cheech and Chong films, and I started to watch a Cheech and Chong movie because I was like, that was the vibe I got from this. This is a Cheech and Chong. A clean Cheech and Chong movie.
I was going to say a cleaner version of a Cheech and Chong movie.
It is. It's just two guys having a good time. Cheech and Chong going to get high. These guys are going to get drunk. They just want some beer, have a good time, eh? And but I started watching that, and it's like, wow. Because I had that same vibe, and then it made me think of the stuff that you and I do, and it's like, oh God, if we made a movie, it would be this for sure. But there's so many cool scenes in this movie that are just stupid. And the dog, Hosehead. The dog can fly, has a cape that comes out like Superdog.
Does he have laser eyes or some shit too?
He's painted like a skunk. So the dog is, anyway, Brewmeister Smith gets his special brew over to the Oktoberfest. So they send the dog ahead because the dog can fly and he looks like a skunk and he'll scare everybody because they're like, hey, Hosehead, you get all the sausage and beer. Eh?
Yeah, the dog's not going to do it until they tell him about the sausage.
Once they told him sausage and beer.
Sausages and beer you can have. Dog takes off.
Oh, man.
I just, real quick, I found something on Max von Sydow.
Oh, yes.
And it says this: the role of the Brewmeister Smith was written with Max von Sydow in mind.
Holy shit.
But Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas thought actually enlisting him would be impossible. They requested von Sydow to the MGM studio, and studio head Freddie Fields telephoned the actor in Stockholm, Sweden, and instructed the co-directors to tell him the story. It turns out that Fields, then president of MGM, had just recently produced Victory, which had co-starred von Sydow, so they kind of knew each other. So he sent the esteemed actor the script. Instead of hashing it out with Fields, von Sydow ran it by his son, who was a huge SCTV fan and
Oh
encouraged his father to take the role.
Oh shit!
That's why he did it.
That's why he did it.
He probably liked. I mean, he had to have liked the script enough to hand it off to the kid and go, "Well, what do you think?"
Yeah. And then his
And to
son
be
being a fan of
you got to
SCTV.
figure the kid's probably as old as us.
Yeah,
So he's probably about 17, 18 at the time when his dad asked him.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Man. How cool
That's
is
cool.
that? Von
That's really
Sydow.
cool.
That's why I like Von Sydow right there.
Yeah, really cool. Really cool.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
that's all right.
His name come up when I was scrolling.
Yeah, no, I don't have much more to say about this movie other than it's good, dumb fun. We could talk about every single skit, but it's just one right after the other.
I just found myself, ladies and gentlemen, or anybody that's listening, I just found myself laughing at stupid. And I love stupid movies. I love humor that is just dumb. As much as and as many problems as I have with Jerry Lewis, if I watch a Jerry Lewis movie that's a comedy, like the Bellboy, that is hysterical stuff. Dumb and Dumber, it's dumb. It's a dumb movie.
I have never seen Dumb and Dumber.
I laughed so hard I almost peed myself the first time I
will
watched
watch
it. That's how funny it is. It's so dumb.
Good.
But that's Dumb and Dumber.
Good.
But this movie, I forgot how funny it was. Like the first 5 minutes, I'm chuckling. I'm like, oh, okay, the lion's
they're cranking the lion's tail.
The lion's tail. Hey, I think he needs a beer, eh? And by the way, I talked with A for like 2 days after I watched this movie.
I'm sure.
I was talking back like I was up in Michigan, and
I felt like I was back with my family in northern Wisconsin.
Oh, don't you know? Would you like some butter or cheese with that?
Hey.
But and it's a prime example. Like Canada and the North and Midwest are all the exact same. They're a state. I mean, you get rid of Justin Trudeau and you just become a state. You guys will be fine. but anyway, it's such a dumb movie. And if you like dumb humor, you'll love this movie. If you don't like dumb humor, I don't know what other kind of humor. Like I love Three Stooges. This isn't exactly slapstick, but it's funny.
It's close. There's a few things in here that are straight up Stooges, man. It's like because I even thought of the Stooges while watching this. I was like, oh, look at this. These fuckers are funny. These guys are funny.
I love.
They just have a good time.
Yeah, and it's never. I never sat back and went, why would anybody do that? That doesn't make any sense. Like some comedies aren't as funny as they think they are. They've put themselves in a situation where you stop and ask questions like, why would you do that? The Three Stooges never does that. Strange Brew never does that. It just goes with it. Never does that.
Well, and I think that comes down to, and I'm just going to speak of my experience doing a few movies. If we talk about Song of Solomon, it's a clearly serious movie. It's horror and it's graphic and it's got serious content, but there are moments in there where you will laugh out loud. And it was not intentional. It just fucking happened. I went to the premiere in Atlanta and I'm driving afterwards through the city and my phone rings and it's the director and he said, well, how was it? And I said, well, it was great. But I said, dude, they laughed. And he said, and he knew the parts where they laughed. And he said, yeah, it's happening everywhere. And he said, whatever, let's roll with it. So it's like, it's just it, so it's really, really fucking cool. And, but when I think people go out of their way to write something that they think is funny, but the real funny happens right in front of you when you have people like Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas who are those characters. They are fully invested in that. You cannot tell the difference between Bob and Doug McKenzie and Rick and Dave. It's it's there, and I think that's what does it.
They created the characters, and there's so much a part of them that nobody else can come in. Nobody else could play those characters on TV. Nobody else could come in and play those characters in a movie. You would know it, and they would be imitating.
Yes. And I think that's what happens is like, oh, we can do this really funny skit. These guys are like, this is what Bob and Doug would do.
Right.
This doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter. This is what Bob and Doug would do. Right. And they did it, and it was funny.
In Second City television, the history of that, there's somewhere on YouTube, there's like a documentary about Second City TV. I recommend everybody watch it if you can find it. And it just tells like a history of how it got to be, why it got started. And it wasn't too far off. Remember Guy Caballero, the guy who ran the studio that SCTV was supposed to be working in? He always had the hat, the nice hat, and he always had he always talked like this, and then he's being rolled around in a wheelchair, and then he stands up, and everybody's like, "You're not even crippled. What's going on?" He's like, "Oh no, I'm crippled," and he sits back down. He's trying to get sympathy. He's just a jerk. He's like this over rich jerk guy, man who's playing the character, and it really wasn't that far from how they really got started. It was very much a small studio that all these guys were like, well, shit, we can't be on Saturday Night Live. It's the only game in town.
Yeah.
Some small town guy up in freaking Canada who was a millionaire was trying to start his own company. He was like, hey, why don't you guys come up here? So he got John Candy, he got Rick Moranis, he got Dave Thomas, he got, 5 or 6 other people.
We'll have to come up with their names here.
Yeah, they all went up there and they were just like, well, shit, we ain't big there anywhere else, but in this town people like us. And then they didn't realize how big they were getting, like how popular the show was getting. And I just thought that was fantastic when you hear about that.
Here we go. Catherine O'Hara. That's who
O'Hara, thank you.
Catherine O'Hara, yeah. John Candy, Eugene Levy, Dave Thomas. Oh, poor Dave ain't looking too good right now.
He's old.
Martin Short, Rick Moranis, Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis was one of the big writers, I believe.
Yeah. So that's pretty much your main crew.
The other woman, the dark-haired lady, she played
Andrea Martin.
Mom, Andrea Martin.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but absolutely hysterical things about her. Like her sense of humor is bawdy, and she's funny, and she will do anything to get a laugh. And that's like, I guess whenever they were trying out for Saturday Night Live, or it might have been SCTV, but something was going on, and they were trying to get Andrea Martin to tell a joke. Like they wanted her to just tell a joke or something like that. And this is the story I heard, and I want to say I heard it on Dennis Miller. She just like lifted up her shirt and flashed to everybody, and then told the joke and walked off stage. And everybody's like, "What just happened?" And she's walking off stage laughing. She thought it was the funniest thing, like, to get everybody's attention, because everybody's like talking and telling how they should do this, how she should do that, who should do. And she's just like, whoop, okay, here's a joke, boom, 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 and walks away. And
that's brilliant.
All the guys are like, what
just happened?
And I'm like, that's gutsy, man. That's gutsy.
That's really cool.
Back in the late 70s, early 80s to do that.
Yeah.
And everybody just was like, we love this woman. She's got a part. We don't care. We don't care. She's funny. And anytime I've ever seen her, she cracks me up. My Big Fat Greek Wedding, she's the aunt.
Oh, okay.
When the guy says, oh, no, I'm a vegetarian, she's like, oh, we'll make a lamb. That's the aunt.
Oh, that's another good movie.
SCTV birthed Dave and Bob, or Doug and Bob McKenzie.
Bob and Doug.
And they are absolutely... Didn't I say that, Bob and Doug?
Nah, I don't know what you said, but it was probably wrong. It was a name.
I thought I caught it the second time.
It was a name. You screwed it up if it was a name, Dave.
If it's a name, I've messed it up. That's what I do. It's just what I do. But the show birthed these characters, and it was too big to keep in one little spot. So they made their movie. And man, I really wish they would have done 1 or 2 more.
I wish they would have.
And if they go out on tour, guys, go on tour.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
I may be the only guy in the audience, but me and you we'll be the only 2 guys in the audience.
I think it would be neat. Neat if they would do that. Go back. And I was going to go right back to where I was made me think of these little buddy movies, and I started to watch a Cheech and Chong movie. Not as funny as I remember.
See, I have a problem as I've gotten older with Cheech and Chong. I've now this is me, folks.
Yeah.
There are still certain things I listen to in Cheech and Chong that I think are hysterical to this day.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I watch Cheech and Chong or I hear a Cheech and Chong skit, and I'm like, these are just two stoner slackers I have no time for.
And that's how I felt. That's how I felt. It's like, oh my God. And dude,
when did I become the bald-headed teacher in the second?
I even tried watching it, dude. I even tried watching it high, and it didn't help.
And you're like, no,
it didn't help. I'm like, yeah, bro, I understand, man, but oh no.
It's because you're watching. You're like, I got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to bed. But it didn't hold the same weight. I will say, watching Stacy Keach turn into a lizard was pretty cool in the movie. But
forgot about that.
Yeah. And the great protest song, "Save the Whales."
Don't remember that.
Yeah, save the whales. Hey, funky mama, save the whales. Shoot the seals. Yeah, shoot the seals.
I remember they did a skit for Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, that song plays almost every year. You hear it.
Yeah, you hear that.
I know him. He plays down at the mall, man.
And it's still funny. That's still very funny.
Yeah.
Chong,
anyway,
Chong used to play in. Forgot what the name of the band was, but it was out of Detroit.
Oh shit!
Shit, I'll hold on.
Yeah. So where I was going with that, that's fine. You look it up. I'm going to talk. But the Bob and Doug did remind me of a Cheech and Chong movie. It's a buddy movie. It's stoner comedy. It's I was just surprised that I thought, I'll just roll in from Bob and Doug into Cheech and Chong, and it didn't work.
Right.
Maybe I picked the wrong movie. I'll try another one. But I saw all of them in the theaters when they came out because my friend had some really cool parents that would take us underage to the Cheech and Chong movie. So I got to see all of those when they rolled out. It was great.
That's funny.
As a kid, they were awesome flicks, man. They were awesome.
Yeah, especially when you're a kid and you're not supposed to be watching them.
Oh no, can't be watching this.
It was Motown. He played for Motown, for a band in Motown.
Oh shit!
I can't find the name of the band, but he was a big time.
Damn.
Like, it was a fairly popular band at the time, and I was shocked when I found that out.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
I was reading that in the leaflet of one of the Motown special disc offer things that I got years ago, and I'm reading. I'm like, what? Tommy Chong, get the hell out of here! He knows how to do stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, rolling back to Bob and Doug, I'm just going to go ahead and give my final thoughts. I absolutely adore this movie, in all its stupidness. Again, if you want to sum up the type of things I like and who I am, there's your movie right there. It's I dig it. I love it. I get it. If you hate it, I don't care. This is an awesome flick. Go check it out. What do you think, Dave?
The exact same thing, man. If you like dumb humor, watch it. It's very funny.
Yes.
To me, it's very funny. If you don't laugh, I get it. Because this kind of humor isn't for everybody.
It's a different humor.
It's because I'm from the Midwest in the 80s. From a certain
I never wondered
it.
I never thought if that might have had something to do with it, because all my friends that we grew up, we watched this when it came out. We were huge Bob and Doug fans.
Right. So everybody that's about my age that knew who these guys were watched this movie, watched SCTV, knew who these guys, and just laughed. Just thought they were hysterical. But yeah, I say watch it. It's funny. It's stupid funny. Just turn your brain off. You want to forget something that's going on in the world, turn your brain off, turn on Strange Brew.
Yeah, and it's funny for all the right reasons, and it doesn't try to be. It just is. It's
not dirty. It's not. They really tried. I mean, it might have one or two tongue-in-cheek moments in it,
but I can't think of any. Really. Yeah, nothing.
I can't really think of nothing really bad.
No, it's a safe movie for the family and the kiddos. We are not a safe show for the family and the kiddos. No, but this movie is.
This movie is a safe show.
Yeah, fuckers. What?
Yeah, I'm good. Oh, folks, don't forget to hit the like.
Thank you.
Subscribe, the share. Tell your friends about us. Hit a link to your Twitter account. I am not personally on Twitter yet. I have a feeling I'm going to have to, but eventually I will get there. I am on of everything else. I'll find you. But go ahead, link us, share us, throw us around, do stuff.
Yeah, and welcome to the new year, actually. 2023.
This is our first show of 2023, right?
Yes.
Wow.
First show of 2023. So thanks for coming along. Thanks for the new subscriptions. And we're glad that you really loved our Emmett Otter episode. I'm not sure what made that one so special, but God bless you all who watched it. Thank you. And we will catch you next week.
Have a good one.